That's making the cut. Last we left off, you did a little browsing of both the Silver Vein and Ironheart's Forge, picking up a couple items with your vouchers from the Lord of Monroe. You then set out on your newly acquired horses, traveling the majority of the day before stopping at a small clearing in a forest. As you settled down for rest and began your watches, you were interrupted by a group of thieving goblins out to earn some what they thought would be easy coin. After a hard-fought battle where Rin nearly succumbed to her wounds, you all found yourself, or now find yourself, standing over the lifeless corpses of nearly a dozen goblins and an ogre. I believe the last thing that we ended on was Sammy saying, I loot the corpses, I loot the goblins, something along those lines. Give me...
Let me see what's on them bodies.
Give me a perception check or an investigation check. Anybody else that's going to be looting the corpses can also participate.
Man, who would be looting corpses, he says, rolling investigation.
Ooh.
Alrighty.
He likes that 19.
Sammy, I believe that you specifically pointed out that you were looking at the boss or the original guy, right? Or did I misremember?
Oh, I'm pretty sure it was Mr. Shit Talker, yes.
Yeah.
Can I be field dressing Rin?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, Rin's definitely tending to her wounds.
It's perfect.
Oh, I guess I'd be over there too. I wouldn't care about.
Hurk, with your 8 in investigation, you basically just see a bunch of scimitars and short bows littered near the corpses, but that's as much as you can see. The rest of you also see that. There's one short bow and goblin scimitar per goblin that you see on the ground, which there are 10. And between all of them, you can find roughly 25 arrows. As for Riker, one thing that you find while you're tending is, or not tending, but searching the corpses, is on one of the goblins kind of crumpled up into a front vest pouch. You felt something kind of soft that gave way, but it was folded. And you pull it out, and you find a crude, colored wax drawing of a small goblin family.
Aww.
You also find, on another one, some carved bone dice with what appears to be a copper for pips. Go ahead.
Riker is just there, like, looking at this, like, crude, like, wax drawing, just staring at it in silence.
I guess Hurk goes over to Rin and Arsis. Oh, hells. I guess they really did have us surrounded. I'm so sorry.
I was stupid. It was my own fault. I should have hung back.
No. I provoked him. It was my fault.
Miss Rin, you need to stick near us next time. Don't go running off like that.
She was asleep. Oh.
I was asleep, and then I heard the commotion and decided to get myself involved.
Do you
I'll be
have
more
any
careful next time.
experience hunting goblins?
No, the only time I've killed like that was with the elk just a few days ago.
It's a clean
I can
cut.
fight, but not normally like this.
All right. Well, maybe next time you stick near me, or maybe Mr. Riker, somebody that can keep an eye on you while you're out here. It's not safe for a lady like you.
I'm not sure I'm as much of a lady as you think, but I appreciate it. I will be more careful. Thank you, Arsis.
It was an ambush. Not much you can do as probably the best thing. Try to break out. If you had to, make a run for it.
Thanks, Hurk. What happened, by the way? Did they just appear out of nowhere?
I mean, they probably were scoping us out. We did a pretty poor job hiding our trail, being quiet on the road. It happens occasionally. Normally, it's not quite so organized, though.
Hmm.
You think they have dens under the ground? They popped up? Found us?
Probably up in the mountain.
The mountain. Well, just goes to show, these woods, there's something off about them.
As for Sammy,
Go ahead.
and what he found on the boss goblin, you find a small leather pouch containing, we'll just say 75 gold.
Oh,
and
shit.
a bunch of different denominations, but just for simplicity for you. And one thing that really catches your eye, as you're kind of like picking up hands looking at jewelry, you find a very thick, oversized, tarnished silver band with a detailed miniature skull fixed to the band that appears to be made of bone.
Interesting. I'll probably pocket the ring for the moment, or the band ring. Is
Yeah,
it
it's a ring.
It was on.
By that I
It
mean
is a ring,
when I
okay.
say like the band itself is very thick and oversized, especially for a creature as small as a goblin.
I'll pocket the ring for the moment. Pick through the pouch, looking through it. Kind of do a once over with everything else around me, and then I'll get up and see that they're all tending to Rin, and I'll toss the pouch over to the lot of them. It's the risk that we take going through the woods like this.
Is this for me to hold on to?
For everyone, it was on the little big guy.
The little big guy.
The one that was running its mouth the most.
Ah.
The one that you kind of stood up to there for a brief second at least.
Thought he was bluffing.
No.
They had an
numbers,
ogre.
They did.
We took down an ogre. It's pretty good
did.
work.
Well,
Honestly, I'm just happy they didn't have any of that fungus.
Oh, do you think they
That
That would
sent
have been
them
a lot more
after us
trouble
to
for us.
stop us on our mission? Maybe they're working with them. Maybe they're connected.
I think it was just a convenient target choice. We're wandering through their areas as of late, so they saw us, and well, as Arsus over there said, it's just easy pickings, at least in their mind. But Miss Rin, if I may add, maybe you should take a moment to look at that little necklace that you picked up, and I don't know, maybe think it over a little bit. I think you need it a little more than me.
Well, hopefully I won't need it very often, but I suppose. If you start dying next time, I'm passing it back off to you.
Can I try to pilfer any salvageable arrows?
Yeah, you can find 25 of them.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hella
The bows and the scimitars are in questionable shape, I would take it.
I mean, they're goblin. It's kind of a mishmash of quality. Some of them are in better shape than others. Some of them, the blades see like dings and dull spots. but yeah, even the arrows, I think the reason why it's just 25 or whatever, even though there were 10 goblins all with short bows, is probably because some of the quality of the arrows that they had wouldn't necessarily, they wouldn't fly as straight as what you would be used to.
That's why
Yeah,
they
so
were missing.
I'm picking the good ones is essentially
Yeah.
what's going on.
Hurk, did you recover all your javelins now?
Ooh. Well, these ones aren't as nice as that one I did have. But,
That's fine. Maybe I was thinking you
one over there.
you probably pick up one of those bows or something like that, and you're good with bows, right?
Oh, yes. Prefer a crossbow, really.
Well,
But there's something
I think,
elegant about the motion.
There's nothing
Maybe
elegant about
ours
those
can give me
things
some
on the
tips.
ground.
Sure,
But
sure.
yeah.
Don't know about using a goblin short.
Goblin short
Oh, it's
bow,
better than nothing.
regular short bow. It's more like a long bow to them, but
But
same thing.
aesthetically, John,
Oh, aesthetically, yeah.
doesn't really fit my style.
Yeah, what you notice as you pick up one that he was handed as you're looking it over, it looks like there's like teeth marks. Not super civilized, probably just chewing on it and the time passing, waiting for an ambush or something like that. It's scratched up.
It's
The
that loner pen that you get from the weird kid.
Yeah, exactly. That is a very good analogy there.
I think I'll save for something a little more civilized.
So that's fine and everything, but I look over the tree line and whatnot. We still got a little bit of time before sunrise, right?
I mean, you just started your first watch before this happened, so you still got to go to sleep.
Shit. Fuck. All right.
Hey, Arsis, should we relocate, or maybe there's more of them? I did let one of them go.
Honestly, the blood might scare him off, and if we leave the bodies around,
What about bears and wolves? Might that attract them in the night? Scavengers?
so you're right. We want to put them maybe a little farther from camp, but we shouldn't have to worry about any sort of goblins.
Very well.
Alrighty. So as you go ahead.
Can I try to lift the ogre club?
Yeah, you could do so.
Can I just lift it up, or do I need to do anything for it? It's fine.
No, yeah, it's fine. I mean, for someone of your strength, like you wouldn't be able to wield it with one hand the way that an ogre would, but you'd have to wield it with two. But you could, I think, it would be considered a great club if it's in D&D inventory.
Probably
I'll,
a maul would be
lift
the
it up.
closest equivalent.
Maybe. Well, I mean, let me look at their stat block and tell you really quick. I have their token. I can tell you what that.
The ogre's probably just wearing some sort of crude clothing and whatnot. It ain't got much on it, right?
Yeah, unfortunately not.
Figured as much. That's fine.
Yeah, it is a great club. But I think he gets an extra 1d8 or 1 die because of like brute or something. So it'd be 1d8 plus your strength modifier. I mean, you could just add a great club if you wanted to.
Hey, Riker, check it out.
Riker like folds up the paper, puts it back in the goblin, and looks at Hurk. Yeah.
I saw you dodge this. It's pretty nimble.
I suppose.
It's a compliment, yes. Be proud. Could have been a pile of mush on the ground.
Yeah, I guess I could have.
Don't you
Arsis will
feel
start
anything?
taking the goblins and making them in a ring, like 10, 20 feet out from the camp, so the
Okay.
scavengers will stop and eat them instead of us.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Riker just kind of slowly gets him and says, I think I just need to go to bed. Sorry.
You
You're wiped
you
out.
all right there, Riker?
I'll be fine.
Insight check.
Hold on. Let me. My nat
Oh,
20 of
wow,
the session,
nice.
guys. Let's go.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right,
He's fine.
all right.
Another nat 20?
I'm
Fine by me.
Just
Holy
really
shit! We're all
fine.
sucking on these insights.
for the fun.
That's funny. Yeah. I don't even know how Riker really feels about it.
Never will.
Oh.
Rin might though.
Seems despondent, just like his mind is just distracted, really.
Is it because your cannon broke?
No, it's 'cause- well, probably that too, but wait, is my cannon still up? I don't think that. Oh no, it's still on the map. No, we're good. We're good.
Hurk will
Old
saddle
cannon
over-
broke.
Hurk will saddle over to Sammy and say, he might be shell-shocked. We'll have to keep an eye on him.
Well, man, I don't know how many battles the boy's been in, but
Yeah.
or what kind of unsavory things he's done. But well,
You'd think he's been around death. It'd be just another day at the office.
well, there's one
Whatever.
thing when dealing with dead things coming on in and you cutting them up. There's another thing you cutting them up while they're not quite dead yet. So it's not used to that kind of rough lifestyle, I suppose.
Yeah. We'll break him in.
Hey.
Break him in.
Maybe you talk to him at some point. I don't know if he fully trusts me yet, at least. But well, at least you seem to have everybody else's ear a little bit more.
You think so?
Oh, definitely.
I don't know
You're,
why he wouldn't trust you.
I-
I saw you
Well, I
dashing
think,
about.
I think really the big thing here is that everybody in this group kind of looks to you. You're kind of a force
I
to be
guess
reckoned with a little bit, and well,
That makes sense.
to be fair, you're fairly charming yourself. You kind of
Well,
take command of the room.
well, Sammy, I'm so glad I met you. I'll see what I can do, but maybe you can show him some of your moves. Be easier for him to handle something of that nature than.
If the boy comes to me, kind of funny that I'm calling him a boy, but if he comes to me, then yeah, I can show him a thing or two.
Good. All right, get our rest. Big day tomorrow.
Probably. The goblins have already been moved by Arsis, or does she still need a hand moving all of them? Oh, you know what? Actually, she's I know she's not the strongest. You know what?
My strength actually might be higher than yours.
Oh, your strength is probably definitely higher than mine. That's fine. But I'll look over at her like, you wanna hand moving the big fella out of the camp?
Bring it on.
And I will attempt my best to assist Hurk in moving the ogre out of the camp.
Alrighty. I'll say that it might take a little while. At the very most, you might have to roll them rather than just straight pick them up. But you're able to kind of push them down the pathway that you came in and kind of tuck them off to the side without issues.
What was the rest order, by the way? I don't even remember. Did I say I was taking third watch?
I know I was originally supposed to take second.
I think Riker.
Maybe she
took
shouldn't take
fourth?
second now.
Maybe she should just rest.
I can meta game with you a little bit. And I think I already told you guys you could have your long rest. You might have already taken it on your
Yes.
sheet.
Oh,
Oh no, I haven't.
I did
the-
not.
I don't have any threats planned for you for the remainder of the evening as far as story goes, but that also strongly hinges on whether or not you all plan to get up into any business. So,
I think that we should stay put because Rin is injured. She needs to rest.
okay. If you guys plan on just taking a standard, 2-3 hour watch cycle and sleeping the rest of the night, I can say that the remainder of the night goes by without any further interruption or issues.
I would probably during my watch play around with that ring a little bit, just kind of look it over, see if I can deduce anything about it, or if it's just some sort. Obviously, I don't have any way of actually determining anything, but after a little bit of playing around with it a little bit and just kind of looking it over, if I can't deduce anything about it, I'd probably just slip it on.
If okay, I think when you're looking at it, probably cleaning up some of the dirt from the edges, like even just with your thumb, just kind of licking it and wiping away the grime, or maybe using your shirt rather than goblin gunk or something like that. You see that the band absolutely is some sort of silver metal. The jewelry itself, if anything, is probably worth something. The interesting part is the way that the actual bone is kind of seamlessly blended in with the top portion of the band, looking like a small humanoid skull. You can tell that it's not actually a small humanoid skull, that somebody took the time and engraved the shape of the skull, and even as you look at it, you can see individual teeth on this particular carved bone. So very intricate artwork as you're looking at it. But as far as being able to deduce any magical properties without any resource like identify, you're unable to determine whether or not it has any additional properties.
Yep. So I'll just slip it on before my watch is over, and then I'll pass watch off to the next person then.
Alrighty. Is there anything that anybody that would be on watch would want to do while they are on watch? If not, we can say that some of us wake up in the morning.
I've got
I
nothing.
don't think I have anything. Yeah.
Okay. Everybody wakes up except for Sammy, since he put on the ring. I'm just kidding.
Oh, fuck off. I'm like, already? What the fuck?
I'm just
Cursed
kidding.
items and DJ.
Sorry,
Yep,
Shammy.
name
You
a more
gotta
iconic
make
duo.
a new character.
Yay! You
Rip.
guys didn't like this one anyway.
He's all right.
Yeah, but you all wake up in the morning. I'm gonna say it's still the light just barely cascading through the trees, providing just a glimmer into the camp. Otherwise, still relatively dark.
Yeah, Arsis probably have you guys up at the butt crack of dawn.
Alrighty, and was there anything that you wanted to do at camp before you set off further to Suzail?
While they're like kind of getting ready to go, Rin's gonna give that parry after wound closure a nice stare at.
For an hour.
Maybe thumb it for like an hour while they're just like taking down camp. Maybe
Okay.
even while they're riding, she'll.
Yeah. Okay.
Keep kinda-
You're able to attune to the item.
Thank you.
Just we all look over. She's just.
Puts it on, like is like kind of like stroking it, like twiddling it around.
Is it some kind of jewel? Is that right, or is it just an amulet? Or
I
remember what it looks
believe
like. I can look it up.
it looks like golden hands cupping
little-
like a
yeah.
heart-shaped gem.
Oh, I thought it was more like a caduceus or something like that.
I don't know what a caduceus is.
I must have never-
besides-
Like the peel and the staff that Hermes
with
has.
the,
that's-
Yeah.
Mhm. Oh, it's pretty. Ooh, I like
Mm-hmm.
it.
Yes. Okay. I think the other one you're talking about might be like the amulet of health or something.
Mhm.
Maybe. Okay.
Either way.
Not important.
The important thing is that I can never die
Again.
again.
I mean,
Goblins are stabbing you on the ground.
yeah, I do think there are still ways that you could die.
Oh yeah.
Only if she takes double the amount of damage as her HP.
But no, Bria, please
Get
be
super
our
so hard
Icarus.
you take
Fly
100
towards the
damage.
sun for us.
Someone get me some wax wings, baby.
Mhm.
I'ma melt them.
Alrighty. As you continue to make your way south along the storm peaks, kind of nestled in between there and the Kingswood, you eventually pop out on the southern portion of the woods and are greeted with the great green vast of Jester's Green. The town itself, that you can see in the distance, is already alive and well with the busy influx of traffic heading into the city. Carts, caravans, people on foot, walking. There is no horse auction that's going on today. It is just the normal market stalls that would be out for your everyday vendors, for the people that don't necessarily want to go through the hassle of venturing in to set up their shops inside of the city. But you are able to kind of form rank and squeeze into the crowd and slowly walk your horses. You can stay riding on them if you would like, but it'll be at a walking pace into the city. You can see several Purple Dragon Knights lining the streets, kind of watching the people, looking for any sort of suspecting odd man out type of individuals. You can even see them talking to some ne'er-do-wells just off to the side, giving them a slap on the wrist, maybe even being a little more rough with them than they probably should be. But eventually you are able to make your way into the city, and I will move you all over to the Suzail map now.
I imagine we're like entering the city and Riker's just like, oh, it's a slow day today. We're actually moving.
It is on any day that ends with Y. It is always a hassle getting into the city in the beginning portions of the day. Sometimes it's even more of a hassle getting out because you're going against the flow. But typically it dies around midday as the vendors have all settled up. But because you guys got out to such an early start, you're getting in just as the city's becoming alive. I know the main itinerary. There were two. One was to deliver the letter to Lord Magister Edwin Morahan, and the other one was to deliver the horseshoes to the Thousand Heads trading coster. Was there anything else, or which one would you like to do first? Is there anything else that you would like to do?
Well, I mean, Riker has to go see Mortimer. That's a must at some point.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I would agree with that.
I would say that doing the horseshoes is going to be the fastest.
Mhm.
Maybe checking in with this Mortimer fellow might be the next fastest, and then going to the magistrate might take the longest.
Which is the most dire?
The
We should
magistrate.
get started on that, and if we have to wait, if there's checks and customs and what have you that we have to go through, I think we get started on that as soon as possible.
I just feel like it'll take up the most time. So if we can get the other things out of the way, and maybe this Mortimer fellow can get us a better audience or a faster audience.
Maybe, but I
not
say we go
really.
straight to the Magister and.
So, Hurk, you would also kind of know that it would be relatively difficult and probably unwise to just leave your horses unattended outside of the Lord Magister's residence. You could try hitching them to the iron fence outside, but the likelihood that they would be there when you return is probably slim to none.
Yeah,
Is
Rin
this
was
a
going
lawless
to.
city?
Rin was going to suggest leaving the horses at Thousand Head Trading Coster so they can get reshoed, then going over. So that's all happening in the background, and the horses are being taken care of.
I thought our mission was of the utmost importance, and if we lose some horses over it, I'm.
Well, Mr. Hurk, I mean,
Well-
if there's a line, maybe you can go, hold a spot for us.
That I can do.
Herc, would you like any company for that?
I definitely agree that Miss Rin should go with you.
All right,
Where are you going?
the Magister.
You're going directly to the Magister?
We're heading straight to the Magister. The other three will deal with the horses.
Okie dokie.
As long as everyone else is okay with that.
I mean, I do think it's
Well,
better to
thanks
go together,
for-
but
Well, let's just all go to the Magister then.
Mr. Herc, I think you're missing the point that that's going to probably take days.
But it's so important.
No, I
Surely
understand that it's very
yes.
important, but it's also important that we take care of these beasts and make sure that they're comfortable, and then we can walk over to the Magisters afterwards.
After all, we
Look,
promised that we'd
look,
deliver these
it's-
horseshoes.
It's clear, very much, that there's a differing of opinions over here, and well, the three of you should probably see what your chances are with the Magister, and Riker and I will worry about the horses then. So,
Sammy,
y'all go have yourself a good time.
Sammy, how familiar are you with horse care?
Horse
I'm
care.
more familiar with the trading depot than I am with the Magister, and I feel that well, y'all might have a little more sway that way than me over there. So
Right, me, a bumpkin from Monroe. I'd rather deal with the horses, honestly.
If we have something important, they should listen to us. You know, Bumpkin, you have a dragon.
Shh.
Why whispering?
but frankly, Arsis, you have a more personal stake in all this, and I think that your story might
They should hear it from
might
you.
be
You're
a
from
little
there.
more should provide a little more sway to that.
Yes. Well said.
I mean, myself, I have no stake in that town. No offense, but I haven't put down any roots. I don't have anybody over there that, well, I quite frankly care about. You do. So maybe you should be pleading your case a little bit for those that you know over there.
I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying. You guys are right. I care a lot about Monroe, and I know the people there, and I can definitely do that. But
And you're not putting on any new horseshoes over there. The trading coster is. So don't worry about me and animal care. All right. I'm not the one pulling the nails off or fixing new shoes to
I
anything.
mean, but in this case, we all have our own personal experiences. Mr. Riker can go on about the disease, and you can talk
Then
about whatever.
perfect. Then I can handle the horses over at the trading coster. Go.
I'm still not sure why we can't just drop the horses off at the trading coster and come back for them later, but
Miss Rin,
See,
urgency.
I agree
If
with
we can go straight to the Magister, that will
Hurk.
cut out so.
Hurk.
Hurk, I hear what you're saying. I
But it
think
can
that is a
wait
great idea.
30 minutes.
I'm concerned that we won't have horses if we go straight to the Magister.
Well, Sammy will bring them to the Costa.
But we all have valuable things to add.
Well,
so
if we have to do it, let's do it quickly then.
I agree. Let's do
The
it.
four of
quickly.
you
We'll all
go.
be there together
The
to give our
four of
stories
you
and support
go.
each
You know,
other.
I'd rather take care of the horses before going to the magistrate, so I'll go along with the horses.
And perfect. You got me and Rocker taking care of the horses to the Costa. The three of you
I'm
go.
already heading towards
and-
the coster with my
Oh,
horse.
yeah.
I'm grabbing one of the horses and just heading over there.
I hate you all. I hate you all. You are all the bane of
It was
my
a valiant
sanity.
attempt, Sammy. It was a valiant attempt.
Right,
I'm
to take
with you.
all of the profits from the deal and not share it with any of us.
Very reasonable.
I'll remember that the next time I throw 75 gold into the pile of human bodies. Well, humanoid bodies. So you want to use that excuse next
No.
time?
No, it's just it would be Arsis in character to be more worried about the horses and to be really uncomfortable with meeting the magistrate. So she's delaying.
Alrighty.
Well,
Go ahead. What were you going to say?
I'm gonna say, what is? Do I convince at least Rin and Hurk to go to the magistrate? Because if I do, then I will suggest then that I'll take their horses and they can make the little walk over to the magistrate, and then we will worry about the horses.
Hurk,
To take the horses.
you can what?
Hmm?
I'm down to take the horses. I didn't need to be convinced. I was trying to placate Hurk.
No. Sammy wants you to go to the magistrate with Hurk. It's what he's trying to convince you to do, so that you don't come with us to the horses for some reason.
But now all of us are going together. We'll get it done quickly, and then
I think it just makes more sense for us all to be together.
Fine, trading Costa it is.
Riker and
Let's
Arsis
all go.
already going down there.
Yeah. As you're all continuing down this long, kind of semicircular promenade that goes through the center of Suzail, you came in from the northwestern side, and as you see it looping in towards the center, this is the main kind of thoroughfare for the entire city, and it is probably also the most well kept. Lots of people tend to standing off onto the sides, having casual conversations. The center portion of this cobblestone street that goes throughout the entire city is filled with trees and flowers and well-kept small gardens and benches, very ornate lampposts that some of you that have visited during the night would know light up with a sort of magic glow that keeps the streets well lit. But it is a very well-kept place. In this time of day, it is moving at a relatively slow pace. But as you get about 2/3 the way, because you have to travel all the way to the eastern side over into this area over here against the eastern wall, where all of the trading costers are located to where they can have ease of access out that northeastern gate. But as you head along the promenade, Hurk, one thing that you would probably notice and probably even take a moment to point out to everybody else due to its personal importance to you is on the right-hand side, right in this region here, number 38 on the map. You see an unmistakable location of the Dragon's Jaws Inn. You can see at the very beginning, the entrance, a massive sculpted dragon head that adorns the entrance. Its gaping maw actually forms the archway that people would use to go into the tavern. But that is something that you notice, Hurk. Whether or not you would comment on that is completely up to you.
So none of you have been there before?
Oh, I mean,
Seriously?
no, I mean, I've seen it. It's just
actually-
I've never been inside personally.
Why wouldn't you want to
I've-
go inside? You've seen it and somehow you
really
resisted.
It's not my type of crowd, Mr. Herc.
I've actually played there.
You have?
Yeah.
Well, when was this?
Not years ago. 5 or 6, I can't remember anymore, but it's been a long time. It's a nice
Whoa.
place.
Yes. Beautiful. Intricate carvings of every type of dragon you can imagine.
Yeah,
You know,
and a good stage
like
and
it.
strong drinks.
And,
I wouldn't
exciting
mind a
atmosphere.
strong drink. It's very noisy here.
Well,
Wouldn't-
at least you know you're not going to be ambushed by goblins. So,
Aren't there?
Fungus-coated elk.
I mean, there are different dangers in the city, right?
it's so safe here. You're protected by walls. Maybe there's.
To answer your question, it depends on where you go in the city.
True, but you've got nothing to worry about.
That's
Yeah,
right.
long as you stick in a group.
Not with Mr. Herc here. I think they'll steer clear.
You can be assured.
As you pass the Dragon's Jaws Inn and continue on, eventually making your way, Herc, knowing the city relatively well, you suggest not going all the way to the gates before cutting over. You actually know a little side street, and you cut your horses through and find yourself outside of the Thousand Heads Trading Coster. As you look around, you can see this entire area actually resodded. It's not on stone. It's like the grass kind of crept in, and they kept it that way to allow for the horses and kind of the livestock that inhabit this area, the beasts of burden that are going to be doing some of the heavy lifting for these carts, to have a place to kind of rest or even graze if they wanted to. So you can see all manner of horses or other beasts of burden, donkeys, even find an ox or two around at some of the other trading costers. Yeah, you can see some of them getting around, loading their wagons for the day. Lots of hands out busy in the yard. But you're able to find this place, and you can see one person, a taller, savvy looking gentleman in his kind of early 40s, longer blonde hair down to probably about the shoulders, with green eyes, looking to be telling everybody else what to do. Rin, you would probably know them, having kind of gotten your orders from them initially, but their name is Cassian Brightwood.
Saying hi. We're back a little faster than expected, but we've brought some horses that hopefully you could reshoe for us.
Oh, I didn't think you would be back so soon. What a lovely surprise.
I know.
I thought you were heading out there for good and going to be working with Maya.
That was the plan. Monroe's not quite what we all thought it would be.
Say less, I agree. Step inside. Let's talk business out. We can get away from all of this. Come inside.
Very good.
Miss Wren, we can't take too long.
Yeah.
Sammy's
Oh,
anxious.
that's true. We actually have something that we need to deliver to the Magister from Monroe. So hopefully we could make this fast. As much as I'd love to just catch up.
So are you just needing a place to stable the horses then?
Yes, we brought the horseshoes from Monroe. From what was the
Prototype
dwarf's name?
by Thane, the greatest
Thane.
dwarven smith this side of the Thunder Peaks.
You're missing a
Yes, he
letter
wanted-
there. Thrain.
Thrain.
Thrain. Yes. Robert, please take the horses inside, de-shoe them, swap them out, get them ready. We'll test these on the ones that are getting ready to go out. Your horses will be here as long as you need them to be. Just
Fantastic.
stop by whenever you're ready. It was good seeing you.
It's so good to see you, Cassian. We'll need
Mighty
to catch up
kind of
more
you.
later.
Indeed. Over drinks, perhaps.
Yes, I like the sound of that.
Alrighty, off you go then about your fancy business.
It's not too fancy, I promise. Thank you.
And
Well,
kind of shooing out, you are free to go as you please. The next stop is it the Grand Magister himself, Lord Edwin Morahan? Are you stopping at Mortimer's laboratory?
We've got
where's
business.
Moorhand?
Riker's like, look, if you guys want to go to Moorhand immediately, that's fine, but I really do need to stop at Mortimer's really quick. I'll
Okay,
catch
we'll
up.
see you later.
Okay.
Riker, do you know the way to the Magisters?
Oh, yeah, I grew up around here. I know the way.
Okay.
Where should we meet up if things maybe will be done first and
Right
if
outside the building, maybe?
Dragon
or...
Jaws? Or
Oh, the Dragon Jaws work too. John, is there another like inn or bar that is like famous around here?
Yeah, there's several. Hold on a second. Let me get out my Suzail proper so I can tell you. Probably the one that would. It's called the Myrmidon. It's typically where a lot of people like to go there for a kind of a rough and tumble time. They're owned by ex-Purple Dragon Knights that have kind of rebelled a little bit and like to make it a relatively lively place. Lots of adventurers go there, but that's probably one of the other popular places. It's also, because of its history, it kind of wards off any sort of thievery or seedy business.
And sorry, that's it's called the Myrmo what?
The Myrmidon.
Myrmidon.
Myrmidon. Okay.
Yep. yeah.
Riker's just like, what about like the Myrmidon? I mean, seems like a nice place.
Oh, I guess it's not as great as the Dragon's Jaws, of course, but
the Myrmidon will do.
fine.
All right.
Try to meet us at the Magister if you can, though. It would be
Yeah,
good to have your perspective.
I'll be quick. I just need to fulfill my end of the job for Mortimer.
Okay.
Okay, House of Lord Magister Edwin Morahan is going to be how interesting. Okay.
Why is it
As-
interesting, John?
Uh,
That doesn't sound like good
Yes,
interesting.
DM.
No, this is really good. This is really good.
Okay.
I definitely didn't plan this, and it slipped my mind until just right now.
That
As
somebody wanted to see Mortimer.
no. Just
Uh.
the location
A lot of notes there.
Yeah.
the location of the magisters happens to be relevant for other reasons. So,
Oh.
as Riker, as you're walking back towards the promenade and actually take the northern loop to go through kind of the royal palace yard where you can see all the greenery. You can look in and see the kind of delicately placed stone pathway that goes up towards the royal palace. You can see it just filling the sky with purple banners and kind of gold trimmings.
Yam.
Yes.
I'm so sorry to interrupt,
P?
but no, not P, not at all. If Arsis is going with wherever Arsis is going,
Mm-hmm.
Sammy wants to go the opposite way. So if Arsis is
Alright.
going with Hurk and Rin, then I will probably tail behind Riker for about 10 or so feet. And then as we get closer to the spot, I will probably come up a little closer to Riker and let him know that I'm there.
Okay.
I've got no reason to go with Riker, and I wasn't invited, so I was gonna go with Hurk.
Perfect.
Alrighty, so we're gonna have Arsis, Hurk, and Rin going to talk with Lord Magister, and after Riker drops them off, you two will peel away and go to Mortimer. Okay.
Yes.
Continuing on the explanation, as you're about right here, looking at the path up towards the palace, Riker points out the direction that he'll be heading of the College of the War Wizards. In the subterranean, like the sub-levels, is where Mortimer's lab or his workspace is. So that is where you'll be at. Another extremely tall building, massive in standing to the rest of the other mansions that are around this particular area. You get the feeling that you're not just in a city anymore. You're in the fancy part of the city. This is where all of the lords and ladies reside. But as you get to the Lord Magister's house, Rin, you notice directly on the opposite side of the street the similar fencing and the house of House Alance. You don't see anybody out in the front courtyard, but it does kind of bring whatever emotions from being back to that place. This is probably the first time that you've been back in that general area since the event.
Yeah.
But Riker, you lead them to the Lord Magisters, and it is definitely a fanciful place. You can see in the front large marble columns leading up to the front entranceway, massive mahogany doors with stained glass windows leading in. But I assume that you don't go in, correct?
That's correct.
Okay. And we will say that you two leave and head back the other way, and it is just the three of you. The courtyard that you can see filled with well-trimmed shrubs. You can even see some of them in the shape of horses, kind of been trimmed into that sort of shape, given the residents' military history. It makes sense. But going up, I assume you're just knocking, correct?
Yeah. No fear. We've got business.
As you
Famous
knock,
last words.
a large kind of golden knocker on the front, the handle that you would pick up, kind of a dragon's head. You hear the hefty weight of it slamming against the door. Quickly, from the inside, you hear scuffling. A woman's voice is heard. "I'm coming! Just one moment. One moment." Opening the door, you see an average size woman, more broad shoulders than you would see in what would typically be considered a lady. But she has kind of lighter colored hair that is clearly turning into silver. But very charismatic, sharp features, and bright blue eyes. And she answers, I don't believe we were expecting anybody. How can I help you?
Wow. Who are you?
Oh no.
I'm flattered, I guess. I am...
Flattered, I'm Hurk Heartsong. Heard of me.
I'm
That
flustered
was
enough
brilliant. Was
that I don't know
brilliant.
what to have you roll for that.
Oh, that was awesome.
Lost it.
You can see her natural pale complexion turns deep red. Lady Eleanor Thond, I am the Lord Magister's herald. I take care of any of his courier business, speak with the Queen. At times, I do a lot of his errands. How can I help you?
Well, Lady Eleanor, you are just the person we're seeking out.
Is
As
that
I
so?
said before, indeed, as I said before, I am Hurk Heartsong. These are my boon companions, Arsis Brightwind, Rin Stone. We just came, well, from hell out in the forest. Urgent news for the Magister. Something
Holds with the
wicked is
letter.
afoot.
And she
Arsis
takes
is
it.
looking extremely uncomfortable.
She takes the letter and looks at it. Where did you say you were from?
Well, I'm from here, but Miss Arsis Brightwind here, her village,
we-
Monroe.
We came from Monroe. We
What
got
do-
some urgent news.
What am I expecting to read in this letter? And she takes and she pulls out a sharp dagger from her wayside, and she cuts open the seal. And as she opens it up,
Oh shit!
the
Can
contents.
I roll some sort of insight or something like that to see if there's any spores in it?
You can certainly try, but it's a little bit too late at that point. As she
Right.
opens it up, you can see from.
No!
Give me a second. She rolls a 2. So, as she's opening up this letter, pulling it out from the envelope, you can see a cloud just kind of fall out from the side and kind of up and down to the ground. This letter, this envelope, was filled with spores.
Ah,
Was
shit!
Monroe,
He was infected. Yeah, he was infected. Oh, God, we're so stupid.
And so,
Because it wasn't that bad though, I thought. So
It
that's
wasn't,
weird,
but it was bad enough.
I guess.
there.
and as
Or
she's
whoever drafted it.
looking at this letter and kind of waving her hand around, I need the 3 of you to also give me Constitution saving throws.
Motherfucker.
And hold on
Yeah,
a
that's
second.
about right.
Oh, please, oh, please, oh, please, oh, please.
Arsis, you're already currently infected.
Am I?
Yep, you sure were. I've got it tracked. Sammy is not there, so he's lucky. And Hurk and Rin save. Okay.
Makes sense. I was like, no, and I got too close. Shit.
Just the slow-mo. No.
And she's now looking at this letter. Is this some kind of sick joke? Guards! And she's yelling.
I'm gonna grab her and take her in my arms.
And she is immediately, unhand me. She is furious, and the guards, you can hear the plate armor kind of clanking in the background as the rushing of guards are coming up to the front entrance as you speak. And she is fighting. If you're trying to grapple her, if you're trying to literally grab her, you're going to make a contested check.
Okay. Can I do a bonus action and use my invoke my what's it called? Divine
Channel Divinity.
Divinity. Yes, I'm gonna channel
What
Divinity.
are you guys doing?
What do you
I would like to grab Rin and run.
what are you channeling?
Channel Divinity. I have Peerless Athlete. As a bonus action, you gain the following benefits for 10 minutes. You have advantage on athletics and acrobatics checks.
Okay.
And the amount I can carry, push, drag, and lift is doubled.
Oh my
And the
god.
distance of my long and high jumps is increased by 10 feet.
Okay, so what? Tell me what are you
So
are you
I get
intending to
advantage.
pick up and like kidnap the herald of the Lord Magister? Is this what I'm hearing right now, or are you just like trying to calm her down, grapple her?
I guess we'll find out.
Stop
Well,
yelling.
I want to.
Go to sleep.
I'll say, I swear by Suni, Lathander, and Tamora, you've been infected by something. The letter was a trap we didn't realize, and then I need to heal you. And I'll use my 5. Well, if you want me to do the contested check, I have advantage. So.
Well, if you're just trying to heal her, you don't need to have her grappled. You just need to physically
Oh no,
touch
he's
her.
gonna grapple her first.
Okay.
Good touch.
She is able to, 16 versus an 18, she is able to. You can tell that even though she's just the herald, it's actually because she's retired. Her broad shoulders and muscular physique is actually because she's been in the military, and she is able to shrug her way out and shove off.
I'll pull out my amulets.
Please, I need to remove what you just ingested.
I'm tugging Rin, trying to run.
Yeah, Rin's like halfway between, like, we can't, but.
Okay, so I need to know what the two of you do before we go any further, because if you're staying, that's gonna dictate what everybody else is doing, or what the way the guards respond and the way Lady Eleanor does. Arsis, are you gonna leave if Rin stays?
I don't know, because she doesn't want to leave Hurk either, but...
Or just if we run, they're going to think that we've done something wrong, and not just...
We have! We got had!
We were had. This is not our fault.
That's not us.
They will think that we are guilty if we leave. I know, I've been through this before.
The message we deliver is still the same.
We don't know what the message is.
At this point with the
We're
argumentation,
not going to be able to help anybody in jail.
Hurk, the guards have now reached at least you. The other two are probably at least a little further back on the footsteps. One of them is going to attempt to grapple you to place you in some sort of restraints.
I don't resist.
Rin accepts the run. Rin goes for it.
Rin
With
bolts.
Arsis.
Arsis, you
They're
bolt?
bolting.
Oh
Yeah.
my god. Okay. Oh my god. This is so fucking crazy. Okay.
You set this up, sir.
I mean, that's very true. That is very true. I did set this up. Yeah, I was really surprised that nobody thought to investigate the letter that
Nope.
the infected person gave you. Anyways, you, the two of
Trusty
you,
fools, man.
bolt.
Yeah.
The guards, having Hurk apprehended, kind of start yelling further inside of the house. The two of you can hear that the kind of the theme that you're catching is after them, find out who they are and why they had an attack on the Lord Magister. And like if you turn around and look at all, you will see purple dragon knights from within the large mansion coming out and attempting to chase. You're far enough ahead that as of right now, you're not in any immediate danger of being immediately found.
All right. I don't know where to go. I'm gonna be running after Miss Wren where she goes.
Yeah. How close did you say the Ilan's house was?
Directly across the street.
Directly across the
So,
street. Okay.
if you're looking at the map, you are currently
Yeah.
right here at number 26. That's Lord Magister's. The Alance family home is literally like you can see into it, which to you, Rin, and you, Hurk, you would notice that that's probably almost by design because of the reputation that the Alance family has is notorious.
And they're a bunch of jackoffs.
Kiss ups.
Well, yeah.
Mm-mm.
They're more on the seedier side of things, and with the Lord Magister being of higher repute in the standing with the crown, and some sort of authority figure has eyes on them at all times. So, anyways,
Yeah.
where are you running to?
You lead the way, Miss Wren.
Yeah, I know. Too bad Rin knows more things than Bria.
Well, you could ask the DM.
I
Yeah,
have an initial thought that Rin would probably go to a place that she knew as kind of her safe haven. When she had no other place to go, where did she
yeah,
go?
good idea.
The cellar
Yep.
that Wiltrin had given her or allowed her to stay
that's a
in.
good idea.
And so
Yeah, that's 100% what she'd do.
what's I'm trying to
And where's that on the map?
yeah, I'm trying to remember. Do I not? Could you remind me of the name of it so I can have an easier time finding
Looking for it.
in my notes here?
The Ring of Coins.
That is right. Okay. What is that? It's off the street. Let's say that's 49. No,
That's a long run.
that's not it. Shit. How can I not find this? I don't know how I don't have it on my map. I know it's... Oh, yes, I saw it. Oh, I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
You weren't expecting this. It's understandable.
Ring of Coins, 59.
59.
Okay, I knew it was off the streets a little bit. Okay, it's actually on the same road. You continue booking straight down, passing by the large palace castle walls on your left-hand side, just continuing to run, skirting past the promenade, brushing through people as you are just trying to keep up with Rin. And as you eventually get to the southern portion, almost you can smell the salt from the air as you start to get closer and closer to the docks and start to hear some of the bells and things from the ships that are coming in for the morning, delivering their wares or leaving for the day. And you immediately tuck into the side of an alleyway and around a corner to the back of the building, and you can see a cellar. It's kind of dark. The tall buildings jutting up next to each other is just wide enough for maybe two people to stand abreast, and you're able to get into this cellar, knowing where the key was kind of kept behind one of the bricks, and opening it up and stepping inside. It is dark. It is musty. And eventually you find your way to an oil lantern that was typically kept hanging on a wooden peg inside of the stone wall, and as always kept filled, and you're able to get it lit. And inside, it is like a storage area filled with just random odds and ends. Rin, any sort of things that you had used to make it homey are now gone, since he had given the place to his relatives when he moved away. But it is, at least as far as you know, safe for the time being.
I spent some time here as a kid. No one knows about this except for me.
Well, do you think they saw us come in? We were running. Why are we so stupid? What?
I can't believe I didn't think of it. He knew a word from that journal. He was obviously... I'm sorry, Arsis. I feel like I could have done so much better by you.
I mean, nobody suspected. We all trusted him right out the bat. I don't know what to do. They got Hurk.
We've got Hurk.
I mean, he's honest to a fault, but are they gonna believe him?
I hope so. I should have done anything before we ran. Some kind of inspiration for him. I don't know what to do.
I mean, luckily, Rocker and Sammy weren't near us, so they're not gonna be implicated the way we are. We gotta get a message to them somehow.
Well, we should wait here for a while and then we can head to the Myrmidon.
All right.
I don't think anyone's going to notice us there.
This all went wrong. This was not how this was supposed to go.
This went so wrong. So much for my fresh start.
Alrighty. The scene shifts back to Hurk. Apprehended by the guards, it sounded like you weren't necessarily resisting, just kind of going along with whatever they had. You are led into a small office area of sorts. It is what you can gather Lady Eleanor's... That's not the right name. It is. Okay. Yeah, Lady Eleanor Thon's office, and you are sat down in a large, golden, like oversized chair, and you are sitting there, cuffed, with your hands cuffed behind your back, and you are now being actively interrogated. You see several guards standing around to the side, watching as Lady Eleanor is now rolling up the sleeves of her white kind of linen shirt.
You need to uncuff me. I need my hands. You've been poisoned, infected. We didn't know that was in the letter.
You? And what does this even say? And she turns it around to you.
mean?
And she turns it around to you, and you can see it is the same kind of jarbled writing that was found in the journal.
I was sent with that letter. I didn't open it. I didn't know you would open it.
By who? Who were you sent?
The Lord of Monroe. Oh, what's his name? What's his name again? I wouldn't have forgotten it. Just a day.
Lord Gawain.
Lord Gawain. There's something terrible happening there. And it seems that he's been affected as well. We came to warn you and to get help. There's something afoot going on. Me and my companions...
Enough.
You need a cleric.
Enough. You will wait until the war wizard gets here so I can know you speak truth.
We don't have time. Summon a cleric as well, and they will be able to see. Something is within you. The longer we wait, I fear for you. Please, my lady.
Guards, watch over him. I need to inform the Lord Magister. And she walks out, slamming the wooden doors behind her. And the guards just kind of stand. One of them looks at you. Filthy orc.
Cleaner than you, by the looks of things. And I just traveled through the woods.
And you're clearly just saying this with you being kind of restrained. He is going to make an unarmed strike against you. It's with advantage because of your situation. But as he kind of punches in the general direction, you quickly move your head and he slams, and you can see kind of like...
Can I just take it? Can I just take it and laugh at him?
If you want to, you're more than welcome to. It's going to be 1+ strength modifier 3, so it's 4 damage.
I'm thinking like, AC is like armor and also like your ability to resist things, so it's just like, yeah.
If you're going to take a punch, though, you're going to take at least 1 damage.
Do you not know who I am?
Okay, never mind. I see what you mean. AC, It didn't meet your AC, so it didn't. Yes, I got you. Yes, you can take it, but like it naturally bounces off your armor. Gotcha. Okay, I see what you're asking. Yes.
Are you all right? If you had punched my friend Slam Stone Strike, you might have hurt yourself there.
The other one looks at you. I always called him Stone Fist. Is it not Slam Stone Fist?
Over the years, I heard it both ways. I always told him he should change it.
The one guard slaps the other one. Hey! Leave him alone. This is Hurk. I knew I saw him from somewhere. Man, you were something. I used to get hammered when I was a little bit younger. By that, I mean just last year. And I would come watch you in the ring. What's Milo up to these days? I haven't been back there in a while.
He's hard to read, that one. Never really understood him.
The one that striked you, or punched you, immediately cuts off the conversation. Enough. We're not doing this right now. And then they kind of resume watch. You're able to continue jabbering if you want, but it might be some time before the war wizard gets there.
Say, we're doing this, wasting time while Lady Eleanor's infected. Better bring a priest. Better hope she doesn't infect the Magister. She's going to see him.
For Riker and Sammy. None the wiser of the events that just took place.
Yep.
Strolling back, eventually make your way to the college. The College of the War Wizards. And you can see this grand entrance with banners and awnings of all different colored, purple, gold, you name it. You can see spires of different colors, red, green, blue, for each of the different types of arcane magic that is studied within. Instead of going to the front entrance, you, Riker, skirt around to the side to go through the staff entrance. It's on the south side of the building, kind of curves, slopes downward along the side of the building, and this is a mysterious entrance, and the first time that you ever saw it, it kind of brought a little bit of awe that this would be the door that you would go through the entire time. Along the entire side of the stone wall, you can see kind of chiseled and carved into the granite scales of a dragon, the tail kind of wrapping out towards the front of the entrance, and as it gets further and deeper back into the side of the building, you can start to see the body and the wings actually extending out onto the walkway. Just this flawlessly carved stone, and eventually you get to a dragon's head resting on the ground. No door in sight. And as you get close, you walk up and you touch the front right nostril, reaching inside and clasping it, and it eventually, smoke kind of billows out from the nostrils and the maw lifts. And you're able to stroll inside.
As like the the maw like begins to lift, Riker just turns to Sammy and says, can I be kind of blunt?
Yeah, certainly. Go ahead.
Why did you choose to come with me and not stay with the others?
Well, the honest truth. Arceus has been kind of rubbing me the wrong way lately. And I kind of needed a little space from her. So I figure I'd just follow you along and, well, just make sure that you were all right. That's all.
Appreciated. You don't have to come in if you don't want to. The smell is usually enough to ward off most people, but it's up to you.
Well, I think you kind of underestimate the kind of shit that I've been in. And while I appreciate your kindness in giving me the heads up on that, kind of interested to see where you come from and the kind of people that you associate with.
One moment is I know Riker would probably tell Sammy this just out of probably your interest in like the type of mechanical and magical workings. If anybody that wasn't authorized was to do what you did, they would be electrocuted with a very powerful electric spell. So you would probably warn him to not do what you just did, even though he saw you do it.
Right. Like right before we go in, Riker says two things. One, you may want to hold your breath for the first part, and two, no big deal. Just I know you saw me like, open up the entrance this way. Don't do that yourself. Make sure I'm around. Otherwise, and you'll probably end up as one of the cadavers here.
Well, that's
it's actually
very
happened.
good to know.
It's actually happened 3 times to people who've tried to open up the lab this way.
3 times in general, or 3 times this month?
3 times since I've started working.
Oh, well, good to know. I'll definitely keep that in mind. Although I really don't have an interest in just randomly walking into this place. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
Just that I would warn
just
you.
kind of what I can tell about you a little bit. I don't know if this would be high on my list of places to visit out of the blue. So,
Well, in case you do, you've been warned.
Someday we all
appreciate
will
it. Thank you.
visit there.
And again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Hold your breath when you walk in, and then Riker will go on through.
Amy will not heed that advice.
You will not hold your breath as you go through.
I will not.
Okay, make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, I'm great at those.
Okay. The kind of smoke that billowed out the nostrils as he reached his hand inside, still kind of lingering inside of the mouth of the dragon as it opened up. It's not that it does you any physical harm, but it is not really a pleasant like taste or feeling in your nostrils or in your lungs. Yeah.
That and like when you like first like walk in, it's like, you know, the smell of like rotting, decaying bodies and formaldehyde just hitting you like all at once.
Yeah, I've been down that road at a physiology and anatomy class. I know what that rotting formaldehyde smell is. So
It's nasty.
I'll stomach it a little bit. I'll probably retch just a little and spit probably at the corner of the hallway somewhere. Then I'll just push through.
Alrighty. Just out of curiosity, Riker, is your mask now, like, was it down?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
as soon as you open up the door, you're just like, all right, I'm going in, and mask goes down?
Yeah, it's kind of like when you're entering like in a lab, you know, you always like put your like goggles on. It's like that.
Okay.
Your PPE.
Yeah.
Yeah. You'll notice that a lot of the areas in the like as you're kind of going down the stairs into the basement levels where the mortuary is kept, it is a little bit more dim, but when it gets to walking into the actual lab, there are some extremely bright lights focused over top of some of the workstations, the tables. You can see beakers kind of strewn about on some of the side walls, actively liquids just kind of rolling through the different glass workings. But eventually you see kind of hunched over a table on the far side, dimly lit area, Mortimer working away and kind of hearing the footsteps coming into the stone while he turns around. Ah, Riker, my boy! Glad to see you're back.
Oh yeah, it's been quite the adventure. How have things been here? Any fresh samples? Referring to bodies, that's how he refers to them.
Yeah. Just the usual things coming in off the sea, people dying in the fields, just random preparing people for burials, those type of things. Nothing unusual. How was that trip to Monroe? You're back awfully quick. I imagine it was nothing, right? Just an anomaly?
Mortimer, I really, 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 really wish I could tell you that. To say it's been enlightening does it a disservice. And Riker goes to Mortimer. He begins like explaining the entire story. He's like, "Well, I mean, you know, on the way there, we saw this bear that was clearly infected, and then we got to the town, and there's these people selling these things." And like, he pulls out like a tincture, one of the ones that they were selling, and they were giving it to everyone in the town. And those who were like really infected seemed to be almost like part of like a hive mind of sorts. And then we went to a cave to find like the source. We fought some boars that were also infected, and he's saying, and like while he's saying that's like every time he brings up like parts of the store. He like brings takes like a samples and like tinctures from each part.
As you're explaining it, he's immediately just going to work, and it's just like being back in the lab. Just a few weeks ago, as you guys are working on things, it's never just standing and talking. It's always moving and being active. And as he's putting the vial that you had given him, the tincture that they were selling, into this type of separation device that just spinning, trying to get whatever's inside of it to potentially separate, to get any sort of additional knowledge from it. Just going on and listening and soaking in everything.
So cool.
I don't fucking know anything about any labs.
It's called a centrifuge.
Okay,
That's what it is.
Thank you.
There's some beakers in there too.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of explaining. I don't know anything.
And like as Riker's like explaining the story, he's just like handing Mortimer like different like tools just as he's like telling the story, just like out of like habit.
Yeah.
As they're nerding out,
Mhm.
Sammy is probably corroborating some of these stories, but he's also looking at whatever might be in the room, whether it's other specimens, whether it's other vials, and just kind of like peering into them, kind of like a oddities type of thing.
Yeah. As you're kind of walking around, you eventually come to kind of this frozen chest as you're kind of, naturally just running your hand across random things, books, and looking at the pickled brains on the walls, just like in jars, different type of things being saved. But you eventually come to kind of I don't know, like a cryo freezing chest type deal, glass case, and when you look inside, you can see a large boar, very akin to the one that you found inside of Monroe. And as you see it kind of splayed open in the side, you can see the mycelium webbing kind of sprawled all throughout the internal organs, wrapped around everything. A lot of it had been harvested out, and you can tell very clearly that some of the things had been missing. It looks much emptier on the inside. But you do see the remnants of what would have been their previous workings before Riker had been sent to Monroe. Is there anything specific that you're looking for?
No, but that actually sparks my attention a little bit. I'm sorry, but this pig here, where did you say you found this from?
Ah, yes, the bearded boar. Blind, too. It's missing its eyes. They bred it. And he goes into deep history. Monroe used to have an issue with Medusa coming up from the caves in this.
I'm familiar with that history for sure.
So,
but
the Knightswood Nine, they had helped breed a special type of boar that could no longer see, so they would be unaffected by the stone of the Medusa.
Yes, I'm familiar with that history as well. Where was this boar picked up from?
It was sent by Monroe. Lord Gawain had sent it. The boar had died of natural causes, and oftentimes, especially in those areas of the world, they harvest the boar for meat after it's died and find the usable bits and cook it. Don't let those type of things go to waste.
You're telling me that whatever is going on, what you were all talking about, if you call that talk, this is probably started in Monroe then?
That's the first reported case. It was the only case as far as I was aware. Riker here was explaining about finding it in the Kingswood, and then even further in, Weymouth and wherever else. Who knows how far it's spread, but that's probably very, very concerning. I wonder, and he goes into theorization of how it's being spread. It's possible that it's... Go ahead.
How long ago did you have this bowl?
We examined it for what? And he kind of looks at you a week or so before you were sent. It's been probably
Let's
about 2 weeks
see.
since we first laid eyes on the boar.
13 days by my count. Yeah.
And now, me talking. Does this boar predate my knowledge with Riker?
In what regard?
Like, they have this boar
Yeah.
before I met Riker.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You met Riker the first time when you were at the caravan, where you were basically hired hand to help escort Riker and his equipment and his goods. You didn't necessarily know of his full duties, but that was part of your assignment, was to help escort the goods back.
But was this boar part of those goods, or was this for that?
The boar was not part of those goods. The boar was here in Suzail for about a week prior to him setting out on his adventure.
And knowing what I know about the group that came in, that group came in, what, maybe 2 or 3 weeks before the start of the campaign?
What group came in?
Shit. What are their names? The ones with the free symbol.
Oh, the Emissary of Balance. Yes, the Emissary of Balance.
Yes.
Yes, okay. From the time that you had got to Monroe and learning from Arsis, having talked to her in the tavern, she was talking about they had just come in probably a couple weeks ago, and they were erecting the building in the south end of town. So, yeah, yep, that's what I got with the questions you're asking.
Got it. Yep, for sure. Riker, this.
Yeah.
I mean, we're pretty much sure about it, but man, this Emissary of Truth group, they're the ones spreading this, and we need to look into their involvement with the countryside, where they've been, what they've done.
Riker, having written down everything, you would know that it's the Emissary of Balance.
Okay. You're referring to the Emissary of Balance?
Yes, them. They're the ones that are spreading all of this. So we need to.
I mean, they were at least spreading it in Monroe, so they've probably been spreading it for a while now.
We need to look into where they've been, who they've been in contact with, what other towns that they've been to.
Well, I mean, that would be a good place to start.
This is no longer a, this pig or that elk or anything like that. This is not a matter of looking into the infection, but where they're spreading all of this now all of a sudden.
Well, it could be both. The more we learn about this, we could potentially gain insight as to how to prevent it or possibly even find a cure.
I think Mortimer needs to look into curing this, but I think we need to try to figure out how far this thing is spread.
Well, I think that's probably a good thing.
I mean, forgive me, I'm definitely not educated in the ways of this stuff, but Mortimer, I mean, have you learned anything about this boar, this fungus, this stuff? since you've acquired this body?
What I could tell was that it appeared, at least from the surface level, that the infection started, or really took root, or like it all culminated in the stomach. So they had to have ingested something, because that seems to be a large mass of fungal mass, and it engorged the sac. And it seemed to have spread from there. So I don't necessarily know, at least at this moment, how it was spread. But my thought was ingestion. Could potentially be they breathed it in even, but that would mean that it would typically go into the lungs. I only had one specimen to work from, and this particular specimen seemed to have ingested it.
And it seems like we were talking to people who are infected, and I don't think any of us got infected from that, so it might not be at least that airborne.
So this is all news to me, and now that I have these samples, I'm gonna have to run some additional tests, especially with the war wizards had reported back some of their findings from the infestation in the forest of Weymouth. So I did learn a little bit while you were away. It's interesting that it's spreading so quickly in the forest region. Maybe just the natural resources that found in that area that, again, with the bear, it sounds like there's a very real potential that it had stumbled across something and ate it and become infested that way. So my leading theory is that you eat it.
Yeah, that would make sense, especially given the climate is rife for fungi to grow.
And
Well,
you
then,
said the other
there-
fellow, one that was infected in your group, got it by drinking the beer, an ale or something, ingesting it that way. So again, another
Yeah.
point for that.
Oh, but Mortimer, wait. Speaking of learning, do you remember that thing I was working on right before I left? That I've been working on for a while.
Yes, that contraption of sorts. Yes.
Riker takes the triangle piece out of his backpack, press the button, and like it forms up in its like spider-like form, and begins like moving around. Mortimer, I finally did it.
And he, like, you can see attached to the side of his head, like, these glasses that have multiple different lenses that come down, and he immediately just kind of pulls them down and starts looking through at all the intricate details of, like, the soldering of the different wires and the mechanical portions, and just very good indeed. This is remarkable.
I know, right? I mean, it wouldn't work for the longest time, but then it just came to me in a dream one night that you just had to rearrange the wires. It was orange to red, black to blue, blue to white, and red doesn't do anything.
He just kind of gives a chuckle and pats you on the shoulder, and I have some of the best ideas myself in my dream, and kind of flips his glasses back up, and well, how long are you in town? Are you back for good then, or?
I'm really not sure, Mortimer. I don't know. I feel like I
We're
got
kind of
involved.
meeting up with everybody else again.
Oh, true. Yeah, the others had a message to deliver.
Ah. Very well.
So
We're
we're
just
probably
gonna
we're gonna
kinda
go meet up
try
at the sorry, let me look up the name.
The
The
Myrmidon?
Myrmidon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah. Well, maybe if I get out of here at a decent time, I might meet up with you guys for a drink. Riker, he's not coming for a drink. He's always fucking busy. he makes
never
plans.
leaves this area.
Yeah, he makes plans and constantly like has good intentions, but it's always just one of those things where squirrel, distracted, immediately diving back into the work. So you would know that he's not going to come, but probably reciprocate the gesture anyways.
Riker kind of like just kind of like puts his hand on like the back of his mask. He like presses a button. I'm gonna cast message to Mortimer.
Okay.
And in his head he just says, "Hey, can you meet me privately in the back room? I need to go over something with you."
And knowing that you've probably used this spell before, being in another room, and Mortimer kindly gestures to you, Sammy. Just one moment. I wanted to show him something that I was working on back here. Don't touch anything. It's all very delicate matters, and if we've learned anything today, that pig could potentially be contagious.
Oh, and also half the stuff in here is trapped, so don't touch anything.
And he steps into the back room, shuts the door behind him.
Yeah, and Riker just kind of like goes up to the wall and kind of like slides down. He like puts up his mask, and like just Mortimer can see like the dark circles forming around his eyes, just being like, Mortimer, I'm not gonna lie, it has been rough these past few days. There's been just so much going on. I'm not sure how I can deal with this. I mean, the others think that, you know, just because I work with dead people, I might be able to find a cure. I don't know anything about anti-mortem treatment. This is all just so much above my head.
We were all in above our head when we started. When I first started, I didn't necessarily enjoy or understand half of the things that I was learning. It is part of the experience. You'll come in your own time.
It's just more excitement than I've had for a long while. Also, the others, the message they're delivering, it's for Edwin Moorhan.
He knows of your relation, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
And just, you know, I don't know if they're going to bring it back to me. I really just don't want to see him. It's just, again, it's been already so much, and I don't know if I can do it.
Well, you don't have to. If you don't want to go see him, you don't have to. Let the others deal with it how they need to, and I mean, realistically, the information that you have is more suited for me anyways. So I don't necessarily see why next time you have any sort of information, just bring it directly to me and I can relay it to who needs. Maybe this might be something that unfortunately might have to go to the royal magician, Ganrahast. It sounds like it's beyond just what's within our control, at least. I don't know what Edwin's going to do.
I don't know either. Just I'll do that. Mortimer, you're too good to me. And Riker kind of like stands back up, puts his mask back on. I think I'm able to do this.
And he reaches into like a side pouch and pulls out a small yellow vial. Well, if you're ever in a time that you feel like you can't, take this.
Do I know what this is?
I don't know.
Cyanide.
Cyanide. No. It's.
I'll let them capture you alive.
It's a potion
When you feel-
of it's some sort of boon. It's gonna be some sort of potion dealing with like heroism or courage or something like that. Gonna be something small. But,
Gotcha.
yeah, I haven't figured that out yet. That was just a random thing.
That's totally fine.
You just can't.
Riker just like looks at him and says, "Oh, thank you so much, Mortimer. You know, I don't know what's going to be happening for the next while, but I'll at least stop by when I can, okay? Any new information, I'm bringing it to you."
I would expect nothing less. Probably get out there again before he starts touching things.
Oh, he's like, shit, he's probably touching things. And it just like goes right out the door.
Were you
Sammy has
touching
been
things?
Touching shit left and right. Oh, of course I'm touching things. Moving jars just to get a better view of what's in them.
Yeah. Probably the only unique thing that would have happened as you get to one of the jars, and you can see that this rather large, almost like a jug type deal, filled to the brim with eyeballs, with like the whatever the nerves that are on the back of it, kind of still like dangling, kind of floating.
No nerves.
Yeah, floating in the water. And as you kind of turn it, just looking to see that these are definitely from all sorts of different creatures. Yeah, that's probably the thing that captures your interest the most, just looking at all of them. But eventually, you two are back in the room together, and Mortimer reiterates, "Well, gonna study these, and if I have a moment, I'll stop by the Myrmidon and catch you up for some drinks and bring any information that I have."
Yeah, that sounds good, Mortimer. Thank you so much.
Take care. Be safe.
Right.
You be safe as well, dealing with all the stuff that he just gave you.
And you can make note that he is wearing the same necklace that Lyra Silverhand was wearing.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and he just kind of clutches it, and he's like, "I always do. I'll be safe."
As we're like going up the stairs, just Riker kind of whispers to Sammy, "He's not gonna join us for drinks if you were expecting that. He like never leaves the lab."
Aw, I was kind of hoping that he would join us and
Yeah, you
let the
and me both.
proverbial hair down.
Trust me.
Well,
he's
maybe
gotta-
one of these days you just gotta drag him out of the place.
Well, I can try, but trust me, if you ever get time, he has a lot to talk about, and it's super interesting. But just not much of a leave the lab kind of guy.
Well, I can say that I understand because, well, truthfully, a lot of the stuff that y'all were talking about in there, I did not understand, and
Yeah.
there was a lot of it. So,
Yeah, whole lot of jargon that I had to learn on the fly from him. But once you know
Yeah,
it, it's actually really cool.
that's one way to call it. Yeah. All right. So, I guess we're gonna meet for everybody else over at the Myrmidon then, correct?
Right. Oh, I wonder if they finished with delivering the message. I'm sure they did. Yeah, let's just go straight to the Myrmidon.
Shouldn't be a problem. That's where they said they were gonna meet us, one way or the other. So, we can settle down, maybe get a room for the night, and see what happens.
I've added a potion of heroism to your inventory, so
thank you.
That's what we'll settle with for right
Ooh.
now. All right. We shift our focus.
Here we go.
They did their job, right?
Back.
They did. They did all right. They didn't screw this up at all, right?
They just are supposed to hand the message, right?
That's
Yeah,
what we
that's
did.
all. No biggie. That's all. Just a simple.
Hey, we did
pass
our
off,
job.
and then
The
there you go.
goddamn herald just flipped it open. No security. Must have just been that
I'll be right
flustered.
back.
Yeah. Hurk. Eventually, an older gentleman with long, flowing purple robes. You can guess this is a theme. You know what a war wizard looks like. Kind of black hair, and just littered with silver strands, clearly aging. Comes in and casts their own variation of something similar to a Zone of Truth spell. Hold on a second. I forgot the...
Wait, so does that mean when he asks Kirk his name, he has to say like the entirety of his name?
As I believe it to be true. Yes.
That is true.
Say it all.
I need you to make a charisma saving throw for me, please. Or you can choose to fail it if you want. As you succeed, they are aware that you succeeded. You might not be aware that they're aware,
Okay.
but they continue with the interrogation anyways.
Hmm.
Who are you, and why are you here?
You're awfully old to be a priest of Tamora, Lathander.
I am not a
Certainly
priest.
not assuming.
I am a war wizard to the crown. And right
I
now,
asked them-
you are a threat to the crown. You will answer.
I am no threat. I will answer your questions, but time is of the essence. I asked them to bring a cleric. The poor lady... what's her name? Eleanor. She's infected.
Infected with what?
I'm no man of nature, but it's some sort of spore. I was sent on a little errand, supposed to leave town, deliver some supplies to a small town called Monroe. From there, I was supposed to enjoy my life as an adventurer, really go out and see the world. But
Tell
as fate
us
would have it,
only what we need to know. Where are your friends that you came with? Who are your
I don't
friends?
know. They ran off. Good salt of the earth people.
Who are they? What are their names? What is your name? You still not have
My
told us.
name is... You didn't ask. My name is Hurk Heartsong, and I actually did say that to Lady Eleanor. And I told her that I was here with Arsus Brightwind and Rin Stone, and we were sent here by Lord Gawain because the town of Monroe is in trouble with something I have never heard or seen of before.
The guard that recognized you earlier kind of leans into the war wizard. It's Hurk, the hulking half-orc, the hurricane hunk. He speaks truth. I know.
Son of Gorn, if you know that name.
I do know Gorn. Not... Well, we have to abide by the ruling of his trial. That's,
Indeed.
You can even call it that. Anyways,
I respect the laws of this land. God saw fit to pardon him. That's all that should be said on the matter.
we are not here to talk about... Shit, what is it called? Something of the king? The king hunt, the hunt of the king, the...
Night of the...
Fucking... God damn it, Hurk. It's under my festivals tab.
Where is it? Chasing the king.
Yeah.
Mhm.
We are not here to talk about the chasing of the king. We are here to talk about your attempt at poisoning Lord Magister.
I delivered a letter on behalf of Lord Garwin. I did not know there were spores in the letter. Have you checked to see that she is infected and has she been healed? As soon as she opened the letter, I tried to heal her. The letter was intended for the Magister. But she opened it and prevented that from happening. So, in a way, dodged a bullet there. Clearly, Lord Garwin wanted them to be the target. I have never met Lord Garwin before my trip. Now, you can bring a cleric, or if you have the power yourself, though this may be outside of your realm.
It has
more in
already
the
been
divine
done.
matters.
But that is not
Right.
the way that it was recounted to us. First, you tried to seduce her, and then when she didn't succumb to your whims, you attempted to grab her.
My
Grope her,
whims.
even.
I
mean, when
tried
you
to
put it
cast
like
a healing
Shame.
spell. Are you aware of how clerics cast their spells? Stab
Indeed.
me, I'll heal myself, and I will prove my power and my devotion to these two fine ladies and Lord Lathander. I was taken, I'll admit, by Lady Eleanor's beauty. I'm a devotee of Sune, and I admire what my eyes see. Now, we can go find some more of my companions who might have more data for a wizard like you, or evidence, I suppose, that can support my story. The whole town is infected with these spores. Practically, there's a few survivors. But the effects, you don't notice them at first. But over time, they change a person.
Fortunately for you, I am somewhat aware of the capabilities of these. I
You
was at Weymouth.
encountered them. Oh, yes. So you were there right after we slew that bear with those guards. Have you not heard of us?
I was informed. But I had to understand why you would be delivering it. My thought was that you had potentially lost your mind, but you clearly seem with it. The information that we talk about here is to stay in this room. Do you understand?
Very well.
As we were interrogating the people of Weymouth, finding out what was going on, how this infection had spread, we had stumbled across a farmhand tending to sheep, but inside their barn, infected foods, grains, things that were being sold. The farmer said that there was meant to be direct competition with someone else, and they tried to outsource to get some of these foods for cheaper so they could earn more of a stake in Weymouth's sales. I think they were duped. I don't think I know they were duped. Those goods were transported from Monroe.
Let me guess. From the emissary of balance?
That was the name that we were given.
Hmm.
We have some of our people heading there now. I came back to talk with the Crown about our findings. And then 2 days later, you show up here.
Well,
So we do not know the full story, but I do know that the people that come into contact with these become infected. They lose their mind. And as I was able to peer into their minds, with my war wizard's capabilities, I was speaking to more than just one. I was speaking to hundreds.
ooh, my friend, he's a doctor, well, a mortician's assistant in the town. He called it hive mind.
It would appear that that would be a fitting name. There was, however, one person that we spoke with. A lumberjack. He was far more advanced than the rest. And when we spoke with him, we had to call a cleric over to be sure, but started speaking a demonic language. His voice changed. It was no longer that of a man, but an overwhelming presence of a feminine voice. Not sure where this came from, but clearly, whatever is infecting them has some sort of link to the abyss.
Demons. Damn. There were some notes that we read. Please, you'll have to find my companions. They can fill you in on the rest of the details. But for my own conscience, would you mind uncuffing me so that I can see that you yourself are not infected? I've been duped once already by Lord Garwin. It would do my conscience good to understand that you are clean.
He extends a hand, and you can feel, even though he is not physically touching you, that the cuffs are rustling behind you, and they do appear to come undone. And you can see floating out in front of you as the cuffs come back to the war wizard. He hands them to the guard to his right. And the guard that receives the cuffs pulls out. Would you sign these for me?
Probably not the right time, my good sir, but
He kind of
give me
stows
a
them.
moment here. And I'll cast Detect Poison and Disease.
Okay. The people in this particular room are fine. Yeah. There, you do not sense any disease in this area.
This lumberjack you spoke of. Actually, before that, I'll say, I can see that you're clear. It's good. I'm glad that you are serving Cormyr. This lumberjack you spoke of, what happened to him after he changed?
Unfortunately, I'm not at liberty to discuss. He is alive, if that's what you're asking.
Ah. Well, I am surprised. We ran into one of these emissaries that had been infected. Perhaps even a good while longer than him. And they changed into some sort of fungal creature, attacked us. And as you said, the sheep that were infected, we ran into rats, elk on the road on the way over to Wingwood. So, well, you know about the bear already, so you know it affects animals. I have, I'm no cleric, but with my limited powers, I can stop the disease if it's early enough. I trust that Lady Eleanor is well, being seen too.
She was tended to immediately.
That is good to hear. I'm a bit shy about being so forward, but if you would give her my regards and my apologies. It was a misunderstanding. It caused some panic in my companions.
You, unfortunately, will not be able to leave our site for at least a day. You will be followed, and we will need to speak with your companions.
Very well, I can bring you to them. We were supposed to meet at the Myrmidon.
I'm familiar with the place. I will not raise suspicion as a person of your heritage being followed by or accompanied by a war wizard might bring undue hate towards yourself. But I will be watching.
With magic?
With my own two eyes.
Very well.
Lead the way.
I appreciate the consideration. Will do. Monroe needs our help.
As you step out into the...
and I'll almost leave, and then I'll... one moment. I'll go over to the guard. Hurk, Heartsong, Half-Orc Hurricane.
Wrapping around the entire cuff.
Oh, he wants me to sign the cuffs?
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, you were wearing them.
Like, I could have broke these, but I figured I'd give him, a chance to show off.
He kind of winks at you. Alrighty, as you step out into the grand foyer, the very intricate tapestries on the walls, and you look to your right and you can see the grand staircase kind of wrapping around both sides of this double mahogany doors heading further into the mansion. You can see Lady Eleanor standing and talking to a very massive presence wearing a royal tabard, clearly in some sort of dress garments, very short kept silver hair, and this man's jawline is impeccable. It is standing out. You can see kind of a few pocked scars from clearly having seen battle in his earlier years, but they just kind of look in your general direction. You can still sense a little bit of the tension from Lady Eleanor, and even though that she knows there was no malice, she is still somewhat frustrated. You can glean that from looking in her direction just by this kind of the scowl that she still has lingering on her face. And they're talking. You can't hear what they're saying, but they're talking and looking in your direction. So it's very clear that they're probably talking about you, or at least about the situation.
I'll make eye contact with her and just kind of nod my head.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where she makes eye contact with you as you do a head nod, and then immediately, purposefully turns her head enough to know that she's no longer looking at you or in your direction, and solely
She's
focused
mad.
on Edwin.
I'll just smile and go on.
Ladies, in the dimly lit cellar, What do you do? It's been
So-
about an hour of you sitting down in this cellar.
Yeah.
And give me a perception check, both of you. I imagine you would be kind of like on high alert for a little bit.
I'll take that dirty 20.
Okay, both of you. Rin probably. Arsis, you hear it first and recognize that something is coming closer. But Rin, you immediately recognize it as soon as you come in is the familiar sound of metal clanking on metal, of the pauldrons kind of slapping against any loose chainmail that wasn't hidden underneath of kind of a cloth garment, which you would immediately think of as guards. And it's kind of the clanking sound, and then it dissipates and gets further away. But it's been quiet. Nobody's come looking in the cellar. You feel that all is clear for now, at least.
So we did a little side conversation.
Oh, good.
And we made little disguises, kind of.
Okay, perfect.
So Rin put on some pants and then fashioned her skirt into a cloak or like a hood for Arsis so her hair and her ears wouldn't stand out. And we were actually getting ready to leave.
Uh-huh.
Yep, so.
Saving everybody time.
Perfect.
They also had a little heart-to-heart because, you gotta.
When your life's in danger, it's
Yeah,
time
when
to
you
bond.
just ran for your life and you're full of adrenaline,
Yeah.
And so...
So I think we're gonna go stealthy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she was gonna take back roads, back alleys, take us to the bar, and I was gonna follow her.
To the Myrmidon.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me find that. Okay. You actually passed it on your way down to the Ring of Coins. So as you come back out of the dusty cellar and the light hits your face from stepping out of the alley, turning back north towards the promenade, you head to number 36 on the map to make it to the
Neat.
Myrmidon. As you get closer, you recognize that this is one of the older buildings in Suzail. It has a dark timber framing, and the framing is of the stone walls, and you can see that these stone walls are scarred from the most recent battle that had taken place inside of the city of Suzail just even a decade ago. But it's almost as if they wear those scars as sort of a badge of honor for their building to have withstood the siege. But as you walk in, you can see hanging above the entrance is two crossed swords, and behind it a spell book, kind of a symbol of the Purple Dragon Knights and the War Wizards that often would take patronage there. And go ahead and give me stealth checks as you make it through. Yeah, with Rin being as familiar with the city as she is, you have absolutely no problem kind of skirting through some of the side alleyways and peering out into the kind of main causeways before you jut across and stick to the shadows, eventually making your way into the Myrmidon. It is very warm and inviting atmosphere. The main room is very spacious, filled with long, sturdy wooden tables and benches, more like a common room style, where everybody is okay with just sitting up next to somebody at a bench in a long table. This early in the day, it's relatively quiet, and there aren't a whole lot of patrons at the moment, but you're able to take a seat if you would like. I will say that you get there.
We
before
figured we'd be
anyone else.
last.
You think you'd be last? You think you'd waited out that long?
I mean, if it was an hour, I don't know if Riker was talking to his mentor for that long. He might have been.
We had to explain the whole story, and then
Yeah,
we
I
went
think
back.
I think between explaining and the walk, making it all the way back, yeah, I'd say
Okay.
that you would get there shortly before them.
Okay.
And then Hurk would obviously be last. But as you kind of sit down, you don't see anybody manning the bar or any sort of wait staff at the moment. It is just you and probably about 6 other patrons inside of this building, and some of them are just sitting by themselves, staring into a mug.
Are we supposed to just serve ourselves?
I'm not sure. I've never seen it quite like this.
Yeah, the only reason why you haven't seen it quite like this is because typically people don't come to the Myrmidon this early in the day.
Fair.
But eventually, I'd say probably after about 10 minutes, and maybe even one of the other patrons making some noise and a grumble about their drink being empty, you see a very big burly man, sleeves kind of like just barely past their shoulders, their hulking biceps clearly standing out, filled with just hair. Like, he is a hairy beast, and he comes out and he just has a single mustache and a few wisps of hair across the top of his head. Oh, I didn't see you there. Sorry, how long have you been sitting here?
Not long.
Not too long.
Can I get you
Don't even
anything to
worry.
drink?
Yes, I could use a whiskey, I think.
Make that too.
Whiskey. All right. What are your names?
Catherine.
Catherine. Nice to meet you, and you. I guess I haven't seen either of you around, especially this early in the day.
You can call me Ash.
Ash, okay. Pleasure to meet you both. Ash, Catherine. Coming right up for 2 beautiful ladies. And he steps away and comes back with 2 small glasses with whiskey in them. So,
it's a downing.
oh, okay.
Oh.
Rough
needed
day.
that.
Are you meeting anyone? Are you 2 ladies by yourselves?
Yes, we have some friends coming soon, hopefully.
More ladies?
So Arsis is probably sitting there with her this makeshift cloak over her, and she's like, being oddly suspicious.
Okay. All right.
just kind of like, like not making eye contact, not really.
And Rin is
engaging.
just like doing her best to play it cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're in good company here, I can assure you. You're fine. I'll leave you 2 alone. You let me know if you need anything. If your friends come in, they're welcome to have a seat anywhere they'd like.
Thank you so much. And what was your name?
My name is Thalor.
Thalor.
Thaylor
Thanks, Thaylor.
Oakfist, and he slams his massive, meaty paws down onto the wooden table.
He's lonely.
And he's like,
Oh, he's a fucking hunk.
Not with hands like that.
"Ooh, woo."
Hurk's gonna find true love as he walks into the bar.
The pair of sausage hands.
Yeah, jeez Louise, Joseph, this is family friendly. It's going on YouTube.
It's fucking not.
Yeah.
My hands are cold.
Oh, those are
You know,
hand
Joseph?
warmers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a hand warmer. What are you thinking, John?
Get your hand out of the gutter, John.
My hand? Oh, the gutter. Oh, that's not where it was. Anyways,
Oh my lord.
yeah. We will say that a few moments pass, and eventually Riker and Sammy make their way into the bar. Again, equally as dead. The livelihood hasn't kicked up in the time that you make it there.
As they're walking in, Riker just like finishes his sentence to Sammy B, and he says, "And that was the third time I worked on a burn victim. I mean, crazy stuff."
There's like this dead look on Sammy's eyes. Oh, yeah. Yeah, very exciting. Yeah.
Ben kind of waves him over. Hey.
Do we know them over there? Are they waving to us?
Well, Rin's not really disguised. It's just Arthas in a hood.
Oh, sorry. I thought both of you were like really disguised.
No.
Oh, really terribly disguised.
They're just not dressed exactly the same as they were when they got chased.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right.
Okay. I thought you had like more of like a head covering as well. Okay. Yeah. We. head
No,
on
I
over.
think it's more canon that you forgot what Rin looked like.
She just kind of blends in.
Just your average white girl.
Why
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
is that girl waving at me?
She's had a little much already, huh?
Wait, girls don't wave at me. Do I have something behind me?
Which is like Riker like looks behind him, being like just like looking for like someone else.
Yeah.
I think that might.
Over here.
Oh, I think that's meant for us. He turns to Sammy and then walks over.
I think so.
Right.
Seriously? I take my hair down and we change our clothes and you guys don't recognize us? What?
Maybe your
Would you-
disguises are better than you expected.
Would you
Miss Rin.
believe me if I said no? Okay.
We don't have time. God, everything went so wrong. You have no idea.
Yeah.
All right, well.
Where's Mr. Hurk anyway?
He got taken by the guards.
Wait. Why
Wait,
did he get
what?
taken by the guards?
Things went a little pear-shaped.
The missive was a trap. It had spores in it.
You know, thinking about it, that makes too much sense.
It makes a lot of sense, right?
Yeah, it really does. Like, how did none of us
Wait,
notice that?
wait. I'm confused for a second. Why was Hurk taken?
We panicked. We
Herald-
ran.
Wait,
So the
wait.
Herald
You,
inhaled some of the spores, and Hurk tried to help her, but it got a little strange, and the guards were coming for
why
him,
didn't
and
you say anything?
Wait.
Why
what were we
did you leave
supposed
him?
to do? What, do you think
Oh.
that they would have believed us?
Oh God, wait. That means Mr. Hurk is probably left alone with the war wizards. Oh, that's not good.
I know.
Oh, that's really
What?
not good.
And we didn't know where to find you, so we thought it was best just to come to the meeting place and wait for you.
Yeah, that's fair.
We
Wow.
need to go save Hurk, I guess. I don't know how.
I don't know. I mean, I have an idea of where they might have taken him, but I mean, the war wizards are so weird.
Hurk walks right in.
Yeah, for brevity's sake, we can say that Hurk walks in. And
I mean, he could be in jail. He could be across the city in another
They could
city.
be torturing him.
Gather round. Hurk
Wait.
Heartsong has a story for all adventurers to lend an ear. A story of betrayal.
What?
A story of being left behind by companions he thought he could trust.
Hurk, I'm sorry.
Hurk, wait,
we
Mr.
we
I
Hurk.
can't
look
find
right
no
at them.
guards, Herc.
Wait,
By
Mr.
the
Hurk. Wait.
gods.
Riker like
If
goes
it
right to
isn't-
Hurk. Mr. Hurk, are you okay? What did they do to you?
Why, yes, Riker, I'm fine. Are you back from your laboratoire?
Laboratory, and yes, but more importantly, are you okay?
Don't I seem all right?
Riker's like doing an inspection, like expecting like the worst. Like, I mean, you seem fine. Okay,
It was tough, I tell you. I was taken custody by the purple dragons, fierce protectors of Cormyr, and they roughed me up a bit.
Why
But you know,
why were you
Sweeney
trying to
blesses
wrestle with
me.
her? I mean, Herc.
I wasn't trying to wrestle with her. I was trying to save her. You saw what happened.
Yeah,
Don't
I was there.
worry, all is well. It's all sorted out. I understand why you ran, but it just made us all look more suspicious.
wait, and I'm sorry. The
You know
purple
what-
dragons just let you go? Did you escape?
I'm Hurk Heartsong.
At this point,
So
did anybody come into the room with Hurk?
not yet. Not yet. But Rin, anybody that has passive perception of above a 13. A 13 or
Wait,
greater.
Okay, 30. I'm at 13.
Okay. So
Everybody but Herc.
which I guess is perfect. I didn't look at it, but that makes sense. Everybody kind of sitting at the bench. You see, like, and I don't know how much attention you want to draw to it, but Thalor, the large, burly man, come out from behind the bar, and he is like peering clearly at the back of Herc's head. And as he gets closer and closer, he like kind of grabs him by the back of the neck and gives him like the noogie. And you didn't tell me that Hurk, the half-orc hurricane, was your friend? Why would you not lead with that?
Wait, you know Herc?
Thalor, you know, not everybody. It's hard to believe. Not everybody's heard of me, and doing my best to correct that. I didn't expect to be back in town so soon.
I grew up here. How have I not even heard of Herc?
So popular. We weren't sure if he'd be able to join us.
Well, if you know, you know. I mean, not everybody knows, but if you do, you do. So,
Hey,
anyways,
Thalor,
drinks
keep
on
it
the
down.
house.
we ain't
that's
gonna be
too-
able to get
that's
out of
too
here without
kind.
being noticed, are we?
Look, maybe we should. Is there a room you have in the back or something, Thalor? I'm really not supposed to be back in town. I don't want to be dragged over to the dragon's jaws, you know? I've got important business. I'm supposed to be gone for a long time, and I'm back already. Doesn't look good.
I don't have a separate room, but we can go up to the upper balcony. That's off limits until the night. I don't want to have to wander up there. My knees are getting bad, you know, as you get old.
I'll show you some things you can do. Work those out, you know. Some maintenance is important.
But he eventually leads you up, but not before just grabbing the full bottle of whiskey and like with his meaty, like his sausage fingers just barely fit down into like each of these individual shot glasses, but he just has them all and the bottle of whiskey, and he's just carrying it up the steps and just slams it out on the table. Any friend of Hurk is a friend of mine, and any friend of Hurk drinks on the house. Let me know if you need anything.
Thank you, Thalor.
Thank you so much, Thalor.
Thank you so much, sir.
The surface professional in me would want to wipe the shit out of those glasses that he just
Okay,
ham-fisted.
perfect.
Yeah.
You having thought about that, you actually look in one of them, you see a knuckle hair.
Ew.
Clearly.
Flavor.
Thanks for the flavor, yeah.
Yum,
Brings a whole
yum.
new meaning of hair of the dog.
Herc, I think I got a mouthful of those spores just now.
Just now. Is Thaler poisoning us?
Wait, whoa, what?
No, I
His
meant,
blood is tainted.
I meant when I tried to help before.
Oh, with
Eleanor.
the letter.
Yeah,
You got some too.
I think so.
But you ran away so fast. I don't understand how.
Well,
You'll be-
my thought process was one, panic, and two, I can't help nobody from jail.
Say no more. My blessing upon you. Lady Firehair, cleanse this child. She does not believe in you, but she shares your fire hair. Burn away this sickness and bring her good fortune in the days to come.
I cast Cure Disease on her.
I give you inspiration to use at a later time.
Oh,
Unfortunately, it is at stage 2. So it is not able to be cured by your particular magic.
Doesn't feel like it quite took.
Yeah,
Mr.
Any-
Riker,
what?
I need your help. I need you to take a closer look at her like you did Mr. Stone.
All right. Miss Arsis, are you okay with that?
I mean, if
As
you
you're
can
having
cure
this
me,
conversation, you hear lighter than Thalor footsteps coming up the wooden stairs. Hurk, you would probably recognize that it's probably the war wizard coming up that was watching you.
I probably would have asked him for his name. I know I forgot to in our interaction, but like on the way, maybe over.
Zephyrus.
Okay.
With that being said, he comes up and
so I'm like,
yeah,
Yeah,
Right.
Riker's like beginning of his inspection.
and he looks. Hurk, is everything all right? Are these your companions?
Do I recognize this guy? Do I just recognize his like uniform?
Uniform. There's
Okay.
hundreds. It would be impossible for you to recognize all of them. But good question.
Hurk, you did.
What's a war wizard doing here?
Mr. Hurk, who is this? Why do you know? Why do you know him?
This is Zephyrus. He's the war wizard who interrogated me.
You didn't tell us a war wizard was with you?
Come. I mean, are we?
Of course.
We didn't do anything. I'm so sorry, sir.
It's
we
all right.
didn't-
It's all right, Arsus. It's all right.
I hope it's all right.
He filled me in on the story, at least somewhat.
I need you for more of the details. The message still needs to be delivered, regardless of Lord Garwin's attempt to spoil things. I filled in on what I could, but there were things, that book that...
Oh, my journal?
No, I think he meant the mushroom dirt journal.
both.
Oh, right.
Both, honestly.
Before I step any closer, what were you two doing? Is there a problem
Oh.
here?
I'm
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure, to be honest. That
I'll be perfectly honest with
Sis
you,
isn't
sir.
feeling so well. Arsis, it's okay. She's not feeling so well. Her throat's been hurting. Everything is fine now.
Give me a deception check.
Yeah.
Arsis, do you want to do anything to aid in that?
Can I think I've got an old inspiration. Can I use that?
Can you remember what it's for?
No.
I'm gonna look at
I just
her.
see that it was a little sunrise side.
Oh, if you have it marked off on your, if you have it in your, yeah, you can use it.
I think you gave it to us all at the very beginning.
Oh, okay, then yeah, you can use your inspiration. I'll let you do that.
But I will look at Hurk, and if Hurk seems to trust this guy,
as she looks longingly for any sort of hint as to whether or not this war wizard can be trusted with the truth.
mm-hmm.
Hurk, how do you physically respond? Do you give her any sort of indication as to whether or not the war wizard can be trusted with the news that she is potentially infected, given...
Well, I'm a little wary. So I don't know, like when they both kind of try to lie about it.
I wasn't trying to lie. She just talked over me.
I'd probably have a dark look on my face, like a serious look on my face. That'd be probably pretty telling. And I'd look to her and I'd shrug and...
He serves Cormyr. We need stronger help than what I can do. If it's gone beyond my power. It's your best hope.
He takes you at your word, Rin, and sits down. But you are still more than welcome to come clean, if you want to. But
I'm going to give it a little bit more time first. So I will sit back and let Rin sit in her lie.
Fully understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rin's just worried that she's going to get quarantined and that we're not going to have this, like, person that's been so helpful.
It's a very valid fear. Yeah. But as he sits down, tell me again about the reason that you were sent here. What is the state of Monroe? Everything.
Not good, sir.
Well, it's really... Riker kind of like sits down, tries to keep things like more hushed so that like no one else can like hear us. And he says, "Look, it's really, really a bad situation up there. There are these people handing out tinctures with a spore. It creates a hive mind with them, and they're essentially brainwashed after a little while after being exposed. And most of the people there are part of this hive mind. It appears even the man who sent us is part of that hive mind too."
He looks at you, Hurk. This is the mortician's assistant that you were speaking of. Did you ever come across anything where maybe somebody was speaking in tongues or in a language that they didn't understand? We came across someone in Weymouth who seemed to have late-stage infection, speaking demonic.
I don't recall demonic. There was a note that seemed to be gibberish at one point, but speaking like that, not that I can recall.
Wait,
did we? Or I don't think we did.
Well, there was Merrick's journal.
Yeah, like we saw some like funky writings. But
and the letter that we delivered that had the spores, the trapped letter, it also had. I don't know if that was just scribblings, but maybe that's also what you're asking about. But
a man turned into a mushroom right in front of our eyes.
I told him about that, yes.
And animals, when they get infected, they also mutate.
Zephyrus was at... Oh, maybe I'm not supposed to... Can I say, I know you said earlier that the information we discuss here is not... Is that revealing the...
Who are you talking to, Hurk?
You can say those things here in this. If you're with me, I will. It'll be okay to say. Just don't tell the average person. Clearly, your friends have been through it. They're in the know. If somebody you think already has knowledge of something, then you're probably okay to say it. I lost my train of thought.
Zephyrus was at Weymouth after we cleaned up that bear.
Where is
with
this
the
letter
controlled
that
burning?
we delivered?
Sorry, what was that, DJ?
Do you have it? Do you have the letter on you then? Or is it locked up somewhere else now as part of some chain of evidence?
It's been given to Ganrahast to investigate.
Now listen, Zephyrus, some of the people in Weymouth, their infection is very advanced. Now you told me that lumberjack you found, who was also had an advanced infection, is
Wait,
still
Mr.
alive.
Stone?
I assume so.
Yes, Arthur Stone.
What happened to him?
He was the one that was speaking in tongues, and I can't tell you more, but I can just tell you that he is still alive.
Right, but is he a mushroom by now? He been turned?
Not yet. I still haven't seen any evidence of people turning into mushrooms. This is I don't mean for it to come across condescending, but there are beings called myconids. They come in many different shapes and forms. Are you sure that maybe it wasn't a myconid all along in human clothes? Maybe with...
They can wear human clothes?
They're humanoid creatures. They're humanoid in shape while they're...
Oh, you meant regular clothes. You didn't mean... No, he had a human face. To begin with.
Could one of them parasitically grow inside of a human?
I suppose it's possible, but it's more likely that...
Sir, if you don't mind my saying, myconids, if I remember correctly, they have to spread their spores to communicate with people, right?
Is one form of communication, yes. They're...
I've always been told that they can't speak. They have to communicate telepathically.
It's possible, but again, you could have been under... It could have been an illusion, something. Maybe you just envisioned them talking.
Well, maybe. We only can say what we saw, and that's exactly what we saw. It could have... We don't know for sure if it's a myconid, if it was part of the infection. I guess we just don't know that enough about it to say for sure, but...
Well, he was definitely
that is what we
infected
saw.
with these...
You seem to know quite a bit. Do you know how to solve the infection?
Absolutely not. That's above my pay grade.
Do you know anybody who might?
Currently, we've informed Ganrahast of everything we know, and he's scouring his own personal library as well as the library of the Wizards College, running simulations there, lots of different things.
I got peoples in Monroe that have been infected. We need to find a cure, and fast.
So why are you here then with us and not doing something else?
I didn't have the full story. I thought maybe we could pass along. Riker, have you been taking notes?
Yeah.
You have like samples and things? Maybe...
I gave all my samples to Mortimer.
Oh. Well. I don't know. I wanted him to have the full story.
Well, I mean, we can corroborate the story. If you, for whatever reason, do need samples, it's in the mortuary with Mortimer, but I don't have them on me. I still have my journal if you want to look at that.
Did he... You've already gone to see Mortimer, then?
Yeah.
And he didn't say anything about the specimen, Arthur?
Sorry, the specimen, Arthur?
Arthur
Mr.
Stone,
Stone.
the
Oh,
lumberjack
Arthur
that was
Stone.
infected.
I don't believe he did. No.
We gave.
Wait, are you're telling me that the fellow that we met back by Monroe is over here now in Suzail?
He was at Weymouth.
Weymouth.
Waymo. He's here.
I'm
Nice.
surprised that you didn't. He was given to the labs to be studied, to be analyzed.
Well, if he's given to the labs, that we only deal with cadavers. You said he was alive.
Desperate times call for desperate measures. We don't know what is happening, so he was supposed to run some invasive.
Rocker, what did you two talk
tests.
about inside that room then?
Not this. Wait, but
Oh.
if he was sent, if Mr. Stone was sent to us, you can confirm he wasn't already dead.
Yes, I've said that hasn't been dead this whole time. I've never strayed from that.
Right. I'm just
Riker,
asking
I
'cause
think we need to visit Mortimer
deal
again.
we deal primarily with post-mortem. Anti-mortem's a little out of our scope of knowledge.
I think we need to visit your friend.
That won't be necessary, nor will it be possible, especially for this particular matter. It is under the hands of the Crown.
Well, Zephyrus, you seem to expect that he would have told Mr. Riker here about that.
Riker, yes, he is, after all, the mortician's assistant, as you had said. I figured he would have some sort of knowledge from it, but if Mortimer sought fit to not tell his assistant that he had Mr. Stone, then I'm afraid I forbid it. You cannot go back there and question or inquire about this further.
What
Well,
if
That seems a little harsh, don't you think?
That
Well,
is
you
my rule.
said these are some invasive procedures. What if Mortimer was infected?
Oh, not likely. He has he wears a necklace that prevents him from being infected from stuff like this. At least I think.
You know.
Well, let's
Okay,
get
okay.
more of those necklaces. How do we get more of those?
They're kind of rare. They don't exactly. They're not exactly very common.
Well, if somebody was infected, could you put the necklace on them and then pass it along? Pass it along to the next person. Probably put the most infected people in the front, put the necklace on them, and then hand it down on the line.
It's that would make sense. Unfortunately, magic doesn't always follow conventional logic, so I don't think that's how it works.
The way
I'm just
that
a logical man trying to find solutions.
the way that it works is it does not remove it, but it suppresses it for as
Okay.
long as you wear the necklace. So, potentially anyone that was infected, it would prevent the further spreading of the infection, but not necessarily.
Wait, but
Cure
sir,
all
if you don't
the-
mind my asking, I can still see Mortimer. I just can't ask about Mr. Stone, right?
He kind of looks at you.
Well, I look.
I
At
think
him.
it would be best for at least the next week to not have any contact with him again.
I mean, maybe, but I mean, what if I get more samples? He needs me to grab more samples so he can do his studies. What am I just supposed to do with those?
You can deliver them to the Royal Magician's Tower. We will
Ugh.
take the samples. Everything here now is official Crown business.
Of course it is.
You will all need to stay here for at least the next 24 hours.
In the city or this building?
The city. We have eyes. We will know if you leave. We will reconvene our conversation tomorrow.
What time tomorrow?
And where?
We will find you.
And when?
Typical war wizard and their suspicious ways. Okay, fine.
Prepare yourself. You will likely be in front of the royal magician or potentially even Queen herself.
Well, what do you want us to say?
That is for them to decide.
Typical no answers. Okay, very well.
I'm going to leave you alone now. Wherever you stay, tell them that Zephyrus has it covered. You are, at least for today, and until we reconvene tomorrow, under the supervision and the authority of the Crown.
Very well. Arsus. We're going to be here anyway.
Zephyrus stands up. I bid you all a good rest of the day. Try not to spread any further infection.
I
And
think that's
Excuse-
important. Yes.
Excuse me. Where do you suggest we go if we've been exposed?
well,
I don't think you can get it from just breathing on somebody, but I'd still rather be safe than sorry.
is there any... Do you feel ill?
No, sir.
I suppose... One of the many shrines or temples that we have here. Probably Temple of Good Fortune near the East Gate. Probably find a cleric there.
They charge quite a bit.
What is my name?
Zephyrus.
Anything that you do, any place that you stay, will be covered by the crown.
Thank Tamora.
Within reason.
And thank you. Of course, of course. Arsus, I know the temple. I'll take you there.
Thank you.
Um,
Should we do a sweep to see if anybody else is infected?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm asking Hurk.
Good.
Oh.
That's yes.
I have some nature magic that can tell, or you got your Tamara magic.
Tamora, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I trust you.
All right. So then I will cast detect poison and disease.
Alrighty, you and let me go back to my notes to that particular section. You and Sammy are both infected currently, and as you look at each other, you can tell that you are both of similar infection levels.
Rip.
Pretty good. Pretty infected.
So Racker, you're fine. Ren, I don't see any on you. Hurk, you're okay. But Sammy, you and I, we both got it.
Is Zephyrus
Sammy.
gone at this point?
No, he's still there.
Yeah, he's still there.
Okay.
as he's listening to this.
And I'll look at Zephyr too to see if he's fine. Zephyrus.
He's fine.
All right. You seem clean too. Just as an FYI.
All right, we're not going to take any chances. You all must come with me. And that is where we'll end tonight's session.